Overnight, Democratic senators sustaining a filibuster that blocked action on about a dozen bills. It's because of opposition to Republican-backed legislation to change who appoints the Board of Trustees to the Alabama Department of Archives and History. The Senate eventually adjourning after considering and passing only 2 bills on its 13-bill agenda for the day. Lawmakers say the changes to the Archives and History Board could open the door for efforts to influence the agency's work in the same way as Republican-backed bills aim to stop DEI programs and restrict teaching of divisive concepts on race and other topics.
Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer Now, and it appears the battle over the Alabama Department of Archives and History is still ongoing. Many years ago, the organization, the entity, the state-funded organization was screening events basically where they focus on LGBTQ issues and other divisive topics. Well, Americans have spoken, and they don't really like this. So in the state of Alabama, legislators have said, why don't you stop doing that? And the board said, we can do whatever we want. You can't do anything to us. So for 2 years, members of the legislature have been trying to figure out what exactly they can do to this board.
$5 million. That's how much will be taken from the Alabama Department of Archives and History in state funding if proposed legislation from State Senator Chris Elliott gets signed into law.
This is just a very simple piece of legislation that just simply changes an appropriation.
Every third Thursday of each month, the department holds their Food for Thought series, where speakers will go to the museum to discuss various topics in Alabama history. As a part of that series, the department held a presentation to discuss LGBTQ history last month. Senator Elliott says he asked the department to not hold the presentation.
A number of my colleagues and I just simply had some issues with that. The problem is that we don't believe that that things that happen in folks' bedrooms ought to be the topic of conversation or really the underlying issue for conversation.
LGBTQ activists such as Brian Friend-Mayor with LGBTQ of Mobile Bay says Elliott's view is inaccurate.
I think it's wrong to think that LGBTQ equals adult material. It's not.
Senator Elliott plans for his bill to be signed into law during special session on July 17th. In response to his proposal, the Alabama Department of Archives and History sent us a statement that says, in part, we hope that upon closer examination of the Food for Thought installment, legislatures will agree that it was a program about historical figures and the use of historical records in understanding the past, topics appropriate to the mission of the agency.
The board that runs the Department of Archives and History is, of course, very upset anytime anyone tries to take anything away from them. So, of course, they got very upset. They ran to friendlies in the media. Now they're going to reconstitute the board and tell them, yeah, we're going to do things a little different here. That's what oversight looks like. You can complain about all you want. Democrats can filibuster all they want. But remember, everything that lost them elections on the national level, local Democrats want to do in Alabama. Every single thing. Every argument is exactly the same, just the people making it are less charismatic. That's where we're at here in the state of Alabama. And if these guys want to stand up and make the argument that you can do whatever you want if you're a local government employee or a state government employee, go right ahead and do so. Defend those people. Argue they should do whatever they want and they should ignore any oversight. And then eventually they're going to find out that that's not true. We're in the find out phase right now.